Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Stephstorm. We are back in my closet today, not to do another fashion show, but this time to give you a little bit more details and information about how I organize my closet. In my last video, the fall fashion video, I received several requests to do a video specifically about how I put this organizational system together. Also, and I will show you how I have my clothes organized and just kind of talk you through some of the process of how I store things and how I do things seasonally. So let's jump right in. I'm going to start with the system here that I have set up. Now, these are just the basic mainstay Walmart cubes that you find at Walmart. And it's the 10 and a half or 11 by 6 size cubes. And what I use these for basically is to compartmentalize all of my clothes. I don't like everything to be all mixed together, so I use each bin for a separate thing. For example, there's some formal attire in here. Believe it or not, I have folded up. I have in here all scarves, decorative scarves. I'm not going to go through each and every bin to show you what's in there, but just to give you a general idea, scarves, long sleeve t-shirts, short sleeve t-shirts, work clothes or clothes that I use to paint in. Let's see. Some winter pajamas, socks, belts, and leggings. So I love having everything so that everything has a place, and that way it keeps me very organized. I know where to put things away when it's time. Now we'll come on over to this area here. I wanted to show you, if you could zoom in on these little cups right here. This is to let you know that these little cup things and poles, you can easily pick these up at any hardware store like Lowe's, Home Depot, maybe even Walmart has them. But again, this whole system did not come together in some sort of a box or as one whole project. I basically just pieced these things together so that I could customize how I wanted to put my things. So this is just a basic shelf. I cut it to size. I have some little L brackets. I don't know if you can see that here. Just these tiny little L brackets that I used with some really short screws. You don't want the screws to be too long so that they won't go through the other side. And then another thing that I like to do, I want to show you, is this is something that helps make the clothes look very uniform. I will put everything on exactly the same type of hanger. In this case, I chose the clear skirt hangers, and I try not to crowd the closet so that things are so smushed together. I really try to give my clothes some breathing room. That way I can, pick through there and see what I have to choose from. And then too, when I take things out of the wash or the dryer or even the dry cleaners if necessary, everything's not so smushed together that it gets wrinkled. We try to cut down on some of the ironing. Okay, so up here in this area, this is something that I'm really not still quite happy with yet. I like the idea of being able to see all of my purses, and I have this white one here in a dust bag to keep it clean. I like being able to see everything. However, I don't like when things are just kind of floppy like this. And when you have purses and handbags that don't really have much form to it, there's not a whole lot that I can do with that. So what I was thinking is that perhaps I would find some clear boxes, some clear bins that are like this, that I could stand up these floppier handbags inside of them. I'll still be able to see what I have, but it will give it a little bit more structure. So that's a future project. I had also thought about adding some additional shelves. I can take this storage all the way up to the ceiling if I need to, and then cap it off with some crown molding. So all I have to do is just get on the step ladder, and I would put things up towards the top that I really don't need to reach on a regular basis, obviously. That way I'm not always pulling the step ladder in and out. Let's move on over to the next section. Here is another situation with the cubes, but in this whole area I have all sweaters. These are some tank tops that I grab on a regular basis, some sweatpants. It's optional to leave your cubes open. I find that if I leave the cubes open, it tends to just kind of look messier, and I don't really like that. I prefer to have everything closed up and neatly folded inside the bins. If you can come in a little bit closer, I'll show you here. See there. This fits a lot of sweaters when you think about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 turtleneck sweaters that are folded up in the bin. And the reason why I put them in this direction is, one, so that I can see the variety of what I have, and two, I won't have to dig to the bottom of the bin trying to find what I'm looking for. Everything is neatly arranged and folded for easy access. All of the bins are organized in that same way that, again, everything in its place, everything visible, everything easily accessible. Moving on now to the shoe section. Again, these are just regular shoe shelves that I picked up from Target. This is not all one piece. There's probably about 3 shelves that are stacked one on top of the other. I like to have my shoes facing forward because I just think it looks more like, it would if it was in a department store or some type of a really nice shoe display. So that's another option just to keep in mind. I'll talk about my shoes for a minute. I really don't have a lot of shoes, and the reason for that is because in the wintertime, and this is my winter wardrobe, by the way. I do swap out winter and summer. I'll talk more about that in a second. But this is my winter wardrobe, and I don't have a lot of winter shoes because I'm a boots girl. Once it starts getting a little bit chilly, I'm done with shoes. I am ready to put on my suede boots, my leather boots, my cowboy boots, whatever boots. I'm a boots girl. So you'll see a few boxes down here that have boots. I have some boots lined up over there, and I try not to be a boot hoarder. I've actually purged quite a bit ever since the pandemic started because I realized that there were just a lot of things that unnecessarily I was holding on to. And I don't want to get myself to the point where I have so many things that I don't have any place to put it. So, tip number 1 with your closet, before you even start determining your organization system, always purge. Purge. Make sure that you are only looking for storage for the things that you plan to use and keep and need on a regular basis. Now, with this area for my shoes, I also wanted to mention that this is it for me. I will not allow myself to go beyond this amount of storage for shoes and boots. So that means that if I see a new pair of shoes that I want to pick up from the store, one new pair in, an old pair has to go. And if we use that type of system when we are shopping, that will keep us from becoming hoarders. If I find that I want a new pair of shoes and I don't have any place to put it, then I don't buy them. But it has to be a system, a strict system of something new in, something old out. And if I feel like I don't have any room, then that means that I don't really need those new shoes. Let's move over here to this section. This is where I have some of the longer hanging outfits, and this was important for me because I do wear a lot of long dresses and long sweaters in the winter time. So I had to make sure that I had a place that my things wouldn't be dragging on the floor. I don't want them getting dusty or dirty. And also, Again, I don't like them being too smushed together because I don't want to have to do too much ironing if it's not necessary. As far as my jeans are concerned, I do hang my jeans long ways like this. They fit pretty nicely into the space. I have a basic wardrobe variety for my jeans. And this could probably be a whole nother video just talking about what our basic essentials are for our wardrobe. But for my jeans, I have a black pair, I have a light wash, I have a medium wash, which is usually very casual. I have a dark wash, which is very versatile. I have gray slacks and khakis. And for me, that's enough. That's all I need. In the summertime, of course, I will have my white denim. And now here I want to show you a little tip that I do with my sweaters. Now, most of my sweaters, I love to fold them and have them in the bins. But as you can see with the longer sweaters, that would be very bulky inside the bin. So this is what I do. I hang all of my knits inside out on the hangers so that, you get those little dents that come in the sides of your sweaters if you have them hanging right side out. And then you're constantly trying to smooth those down. So in order to avoid that, I hang them inside out. That way the dents will be down on the inside and you won't ever see them. So that's a little tip. All right. Now we can move over to this section. I wanted to mention too that just the same way as I use uniform hangers with my skirts, I use uniform hangers with everything over here. So you'll see that all of these hangers are the white plastic hangers, nothing fancy. I've heard that, if I use the black velvet hangers, the metal ones, that I can actually get more clothes into my closet. But again, that may be a goal for some. That's not my personal goal. I like a little bit of breathing room. I like some space. I like to be able to say, I've got room for shopping, right? So not too smushed, right? This is where I usually hang all of my shirts. I don't have a lot of winter shirts because I wear a lot of sweaters in the wintertime. As you can see, I've got my turtleneck on right now. It's a little chilly today. Down here, I have a place for jackets, vests, and my favorite things to wear, which are these little cover-up like jackets here. They're just really great for layering, and I do the same thing with these that I do with my sweaters. I hang them inside out so I don't get those little dents on the shoulders. And I try to have those in all of the basic colors. So that gives me a lot of versatility in my wardrobe. Now I'm just going to kind of step over here to the side. This is more cubes. However, remember I talked about how I am a girl who changes out my wardrobe from season to season? Well, this is storage for all of my summer clothes. So these are the things that I have just switched out. They were all hanging up here. I'll show a picture in the video so that you can see what it looked like before I switched it out. I took all of those things down, folded them up, put them in these bins. They are still in categories based on what's in the bins. So I have skirts, I have dresses, I have summer sweaters, so on and so forth. And that way I have these things pushed to the back of my closet so that I'm not going to need to access them on a regular basis. So I don't really come back here very much at all for this fall season, the fall and winter season. Up here in the shorter bins, this is a great place for things like nail polish and supplies. I keep my polish and everything in here because I like to keep my dressing room area very clutter-free. I don't have all that stuff at my vanity. And in this bin, you'll see about me, I'm a sunglasses girl. I love sunglasses. That's probably my shopping weakness. That's the first department that I go to whenever I go into a store is the sunglasses area. So over here, I wanted to share with you really briefly how we organized my husband's shoes. Remember, I told you that I do share a closet with my husband. And as you can see too, we're supposed to have this room in half, like exactly in half. This guy right here, he's got way more shoes than I do. So his comes over into my section just a little bit, but I'll let him get away with that. Anyway, this system for his shoes is actually the same cube system that I have for everything else here. But here's the hack that we did. We took a long shelf, we cut it down into sections of size, and not we, but it was my idea, but he executed it. He screwed each of these little short shelves to divide the cube in half. Because if he were just to put one pair of shoes in a cube, I felt like it was such wasted space. So by putting an extra shelf inside the cube, we're able to get double the pair of shoes in each of the cubbies. You could see too that it didn't matter what color the wood was, because this is something that I am planning to paint and make everything white. These are some extra brown shelves that we had left over from a different project. So I'll be working on that, and hopefully I'll get it done before I get this video edited so that I can show you guys the finished product. Briefly over here on his side, you can see that behind his clothes is a brick wall. Now that at first it posed a bit of a challenge for trying to hang up a closet system. So here's what we came up with. We got these super long poles. We picked those up from Home Depot. They are steel, S-T-E-E-L poles. So they do not bend. Men's clothes tend to be much heavier than women's clothes. So I was very concerned about putting a regular pole like I have on my side on his side, because I felt like it would actually make the pole bow. But what we did was he drilled masonry right into the masonry and put up the steel pole. He's got anchors every so often to keep it from bowing and making sure that it doesn't collapse. And just for protection of the drywall, we put these same little cups, the little plastic cups, right up against the wall so that the steel, in case the pole slides a bit when he shifts his clothes around, we didn't want the pole to go through the drywall. So it's just a little bit of protection. And he has a very similar system with storing his shoes and everything. He has more shoes than I do. And then over here in this area is where he keeps all of his sweaters and some other things that are also compartmentalized. He's got some ball caps and things like that. So I was actually thinking about hanging up the hats on the wall back there. But then, the decorator in me, I would really like to have some cute closet decorations in here. So I was thinking about maybe finding some printouts online that I could use, put them in some nice frames, hang them up there, and just kind of decorate the closet just a little bit. I hope you got some creative ideas on how you can customize your own closet using inexpensive stock items from your local stores. This video helps you to see that you can start with 1 or 2 pieces at a time and keep adding on until your closet is complete. As you can see, my closet is still a work in progress, but as I make updates, I'll come back and share with you. I'd love to see pictures of what you're working on too. Maybe we can exchange ideas. Let me know in the comments below. Do you swap out your wardrobes for the season? And do you purge regularly? Remember, if you need help through a virtual session, I'm here for you and we can brainstorm together. I'm Steph Storm, and you'll see me next time.